Okay, so what we're looking to do is balance the drive shaft on this side. This is the long drive shaft. It is slightly bent because of welding. So just going to use some Jubilee clips to try and fine tune it a little bit. It's a bit like having an unbalanced wheel all the time, which only manifests itself at about 60 odd miles an hour. So this is just a quick fix to sort of temporarily, I don't know, until actual proper drive shafts can be made up for the thing. Oh. There we go. So, and a puncture as well, and this is just a good opportunity to get in there and set up this dial test indicator so I can work out where the issue is. Okay, so what we're looking to do is find where the peak of the run out is. So we just sort of get a measure of how it's looking. It sort of looks to me as though the peak is sort of roughly about thereabouts. So what I'll do is I'll describe it on, and then what I'll do is I'll double check it. I'll just move it along a bit, just in case it's a lump or something else. So it sort of looks to me as though that is, roughly speaking, the peak point. So, of course, we're going to add mass to the opposite side of that, which will be the lowest point, which is sort of roughly there, really. So, what we've got is some balancing. Okay, so I sort of had to semi-start again, really, because there was grease everywhere. This is sort of semi the way back and push out. These don't actually work, they're rusted up and ruined, so I've got some the proper size and they're all the same. So what I'm thinking is I'll just start with 2, because the run out isn't actually that big, really. I think 2 is probably a good starting point. And then what we'll do is we'll arrange these so that the mass is on the opposite side of essentially the bend of the shaft. So the lowest point as far as the DDI is concerned, which is 180 degrees around from where the highest point is, obviously. So we fit the 2 of them. We're at the stage now where we've got them fitted, and what I've done is that's the highest point there. I've marked it on, and then I've placed the mass 180 degrees opposed. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with 3 of them. And the fine tuning element of it is actually the fact that if say you've got an even number of separate masses, you actually splay them equally such that they start to reduce their effect of balancing the missing mass on this side. You know, if these are too heavy, and the more you splay them at angles that are equal, so one will go one way, one will go the other way, equally opposed to the high spot of mass, they actually start to balance each other out, and they reduce their effect on balancing the shaft. So that's the fine tuning element, rather than, you know, in essence grinding off the material. So it means you actually get it pretty much spot on. So, but I'm trying 3 of them in it, and then if that's close enough, that'll do realistically. So we'll give it a test and see whether it's reduced the effect. Now, additionally, because I've had a flat tyre and I've got myself a brand new one, it's balanced properly and what have you, should actually be, and it's heavy that, which is not great for unstrung weight, but there we go. Should actually be at the extent now where any imbalance is purely, well, mainly the drive shaft, and it should have, and I'm sort of predicting that it'll either diminish to nothing and there'll be no real vibration as such, or it'll either gone slightly too far or not quite enough. So just quickly tested it there, and it's actually exactly the same. So what I think I've done there is added pretty much double the amount of mass required. So I'm going to take one off, and then I'm going to splay them slightly to reduce the balancing effect. Okay, so I've removed one of them, and then what I think is that because I need to half the effect of balancing, I've took a third off, so I need half of a third again to reduce the overall effect. So, but it's just an estimation at this point. So one of them will go that way and one of them will go this way, such that the point at which the centre of mass is still opposite of the high point on the drive shaft, but they're having they're slightly balancing each other. The further around they go, the more they balance each other instead of balancing the shaft. So I'll tighten it up at that, and then hopefully that is pretty much enough. Okay, so get up to 60 and then you'll be able to see exactly whether it's worked or not. So we're going uphill. Once it gets into its stride, it's straight up there. And this is the point where it was really starting to struggle with catching up with something, typically speaking. So it seems to me to be pretty smooth now. So it did seem as I'd put twice as much mass as required on the drive shaft. We've halved it, roughly speaking, and it's made a huge difference. We'll see if we can safely dispatch this up to the speed limit, although it'll probably actually accelerate itself, to be fair. Yeah, or not as the case may be, but hey, it doesn't matter. We'll nip it past a safe, timely manner.